Well, it's time now for some business news, and for that I'm joined in the studio by Yuka Royer. Yuka, you're starting with the latest developments in the saga over the future of TikTok. The Chinese-owned video sharing app is seeking a court intervention.
That's right. TikTok has asked a federal judge to block the Trump administration from banning the app on Apple and Google stores. The download ban was set to take effect last Sunday, but was delayed as its Chinese owner, ByteDance, neared a deal with the US firms Oracle and Walmart. But that agreement has been thrown into doubt after President Trump vowed to block a deal that would allow the Chinese firm to retain any control. Lawyers for the company argue that the planned app store ban is not motivated by genuine national security concern, but by political considerations relating to the upcoming election. The video sharing platform is massively popular in the United States with about 100 million users in the country.
Now, amid the flare-up of US-China tensions, several major car makers in the US are suing the government over import duties imposed on parts produced in China.
And Tesla is the latest to join the move. On Wednesday, the electric car maker filed a lawsuit asking an end to what it called unlawful tariffs. Chinese-made car parts have been slapped with a 25% tariff as part of the US-China trade war that began in 2018. Tesla is asking for the extra duty to be overturned and the money it's already paid reimbursed. A number of similar lawsuits have reportedly been filed by car makers in recent days, including by Mercedes-Benz.
Yuka, a look now to what's happening on the market.
Well, Asian shares are trading quite deep in the red this Thursday, taking a cue from Wall Street yesterday. That decline was led by tech shares, and a stalemate between Congress and the Federal Reserve over new stimulus measures also weighing on investor sentiment.
Now, here in France, Yuka, the government has imposed new tough measures to fight the spread of the coronavirus. Restaurants and bars in Marseille, also the French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe, are being told they have to shut their doors once again as of this Saturday. Of course, the pandemic has plunged France into a huge recession, and the export sector has been especially badly hit.
Exports and industries, especially from tourism to aviation, really badly affected. And France's exports are on course to fall by 100 billion euros this year. Luke Schrager has more.
A drop in exports that's hit companies across France. These workshops in the Paris region produce brakes for large vehicles, with around 80% of the company's wares destined for foreign markets.
This range here is going to Italy. It's a market where we've seen a 25% drop. Over here are products destined for the Czech Republic. They're items for school buses that are mainly French-produced. There's been a 25% drop there too.
The director is currently looking at a 30% drop in his firm's turnover and major consequences for his staff.
When there's no work, you can't ask employees to work slower. If there's no work, we can alter the payroll, mainly by taking on fewer temporary workers.
He's not alone. With the pandemic closing borders, France's exports have crumbled worldwide. Its sales to Germany have dropped by 14 billion euros, by 7.5 billion to Spain and Italy, and to the United States by 8.4 billion. It's left an overall loss of 100 billion less in exports compared to 2019, with the chemical industry, the food production industry and aviation all among those sectors worst hit, and all among those most important to French trade. The balance is even more off-kilter when imports are factored in.
During the lockdown, our imports dropped a lot less than our exports. It means we continued to consume and purchase products from abroad.
France's estimated exports will rise by 40 billion euros next year, not enough to offset 2020's losses.
Now, moving on to some other news, the US state of California has set a rather ambitious goal. It's aiming to ban the sale of all new gasoline-powered cars and lorries within 15 years.
Yeah, banning an ambitious goal indeed. California is aiming to have a completely carbon-free economy by 2045, and the announcement is the most significant yet by a US state in aiming to phase out fossil fuel-burning engines to combat climate change. The US car market is already shifting towards electric vehicles, and some analysts say EVs could overtake petrol-run cars long before the 2035 deadline set by the state, if their prices drop enough to attract customers. The White House, meanwhile, issued a statement calling the move alarming that would destroy jobs and raise consumer costs. Here's California's Governor Gavin Newsom speaking on Wednesday.
The transportation sector in the state of California represents over 50% of all of the emissions, 41% directly related to vehicles, 11% related to the production of petroleum fuels. As a consequence, when we are looking to achieve our audacious goals to get to 100% carbon-free economy by 2045, we can't get there unless we accelerate our efforts in the transportation sector.
And finally, from you, Yuka, we're staying in green technology. There was quite an extraordinary move on the stock market involving a very small energy firm. Tell us more.
Well, with some market analysts calling it insane, indeed, a company called SPI Energy, which makes solar panels, soared an astonishing 3,100% during Wednesday's session and finished the day up more than 1,200%. The move followed an announcement by the company that it was launching an electric car subsidiary. It meant that its market value jumped from about $15 million to around $460 million in the space of just a few hours.
I bet some shareholders were very happy with that indeed.
If they sold at the peak.
Yuka Roya with a look through the day's business news. Thank you very much.